Imagine waking up in the morning, stretching your arms, and placing your feet on the ground. There's no ache, no tightness, no sudden cramp that catches you off guard. Instead, your legs feel steady, strong, and ready for the day. You walk into the kitchen, pour yourself a warm cup of coffee, and maybe even decide to take a peaceful stroll around the block. Sounds simple, right? But for many older adults, mornings like that have become rare. The good news is, it doesn't have to stay that way. You don't need expensive treatments or complicated routines. Sometimes, it's the small things, like what's on your plate, that make the biggest difference. Today, we'll talk about 7 essential vitamins that can bring strength, stability, and energy back into your legs. And back into your life. Hi there, I'm really glad you're here. Let me ask you something. Have you noticed your legs feeling a bit heavier lately? Maybe they're cramping more often, or your steps don't feel quite as steady as they used to? If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. A lot of older adults go through this and simply assume it's just part of getting older. But what if I told you that's not the whole story? Sometimes the real issue is what's missing from your plate. That's right, it could be a lack of key nutrients, things your body quietly relies on every single day. In today's video, we're going to explore 7 essential vitamins and minerals that have the power to transform how your legs feel and function. Whether you want to walk with ease, avoid those painful nighttime cramps, or just feel more confident in your movement, this information could make a real difference. So, stick around. You're in the right place. Let's be honest, aging does bring some changes. Our legs might not feel as strong, our balance may feel a little off, and we start chalking it up to getting older. But here's the surprising part. Sometimes it's not just age. It's that our bodies are missing the right fuel, key vitamins and minerals. Things like less sun, more meds, and changing diets can quietly drain what our muscles and bones need. And the result? Fatigue, cramps, and yes, even falls. But here's the good news. Once we understand what's missing, we can do something about it. Starting today, the first. Vitamin D. Let's kick things off with a big one, vitamin D. You've probably heard of it about bone health, but its benefits go much further, especially when it comes to your legs. Think of vitamin D as your body's sunlight battery. It helps muscles contract properly, supports your balance, and makes sure the communication between your brain and legs is working smoothly. Without enough of it, your legs can start to feel sluggish, weak, or just not as responsive. Now, here's the thing. As we get older, our ability to produce vitamin D from sunlight declines. And let's be honest, many of us just aren't outside like we used to be. Whether it's staying indoors more, covering up our skin, or being cautious about sun exposure, it all adds up. Add in some medications or digestive issues, and you've got a recipe for widespread deficiency. Studies have shown that low vitamin D levels are directly linked to muscle weakness, poor coordination, and a greater risk of falls in older adults. That's a serious concern. I've talked to seniors who said they thought their leg pain was just part of aging, but after getting their vitamin D levels checked and corrected, they started moving better, walking longer distances, and even feeling more confident climbing stairs. One gentleman told me, "I didn't realize how bad it had gotten until I felt the difference." That's powerful. Another thing to know is that vitamin D helps maintain fast-twitch muscle fibers. Those are the muscles responsible for quick reactions, so if you trip or lose your balance, those fibers help you catch yourself. Without enough vitamin D, your reaction time slows down, making falls more likely. But the good news? It's pretty simple to turn things around. Spend about 15 to 30 minutes in the sun each day if you can. Exposing your arms and legs helps your body make the vitamin D it needs. Foods like salmon, mackerel, fortified dairy, and egg yolks can give you a boost too. And if your levels are low, a daily supplement, usually between 800 and 1000 IU, is often recommended, though some folks need more under a doctor's care. So here's your takeaway. If your legs feel heavy, crampy, or just not as strong as they used to, vitamin D might be the missing link. Get outside, eat well, and don't hesitate to talk to your doctor about checking your levels. A small change could make a big difference in how you move every single day. You might be wondering, how do you even know if you're low on vitamin D? Great question. One of the simplest ways is to get a blood test. It's a quick check that can tell you exactly where your levels are. Many primary care doctors now include it in routine panels, especially for older adults. If your levels are low, your provider might suggest higher doses for a short period, followed by a maintenance dose. And just to give you an idea of how impactful it can be, there was a community health study done on older adults, and those who brought their vitamin D levels into a healthy range saw fewer hospitalizations from falls, reported better muscle function, and even improved moods. That's right, vitamin D is also linked to emotional health. So, you're not just helping your legs, you're supporting your overall well-being. Now that's a win-win. The second, calcium. Let's talk about calcium. You probably think of it as the go-to nutrient for bones, and you'd be right. But calcium does more than keep your bones from breaking. It also plays a huge role in how your muscles move. It's like the traffic light for your legs, giving them the green light to contract and the red light to relax. When your body doesn't get enough calcium, your muscles might cramp, feel weak, or not move the way they should. And as we get older, it becomes harder for our bodies to absorb calcium efficiently. Some people cut out dairy due to digestion issues, or avoid certain foods because of medication interactions. The result? A slow but steady drop in calcium levels. That's when things like frequent leg cramps, slower walking pace, or even unsteady balance start to creep in. I once spoke with a woman who said she stopped walking to her mailbox because the cramps were too painful. It turns out that she was getting less than half her daily calcium requirement. And here's another thing. Without enough calcium, your bones become fragile, so if you do trip or lose your balance, you're at a much higher risk of serious fractures, especially in the hips or legs. A simple stumble could turn into a months-long recovery or even lead to permanent mobility loss. Calcium isn't just about preventing cracks in bones, it's about preserving your freedom to move. But don't worry, there are plenty of ways to get calcium back into your routine. Yes, dairy products like milk, cheese, and yogurt are great, but so are dark leafy greens like kale and collards, fortified plant-based milks, tofu, almonds, and even canned sardines with bones. It's all about variety and consistency. And if your doctor recommends a supplement, go for one that also includes vitamin D, since that helps your body absorb calcium more effectively. One senior told me he started adding a glass of fortified almond milk to his breakfast and a small bowl of leafy greens at dinner. Within a few weeks, his leg cramps had eased and he felt steadier on his feet. Small changes like that can make a big difference. So what's the takeaway here? If your legs are cramping, feeling weaker, or just not keeping up with your pace, calcium might be part of the solution. Focus on getting around 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams a day from a mix of food and supplements. Your legs, your bones, and your overall mobility will thank you for it. It's also worth mentioning that physical activity helps your body make the most of the calcium you take in. Weight-bearing exercises like walking, light jogging, or even standing yoga poses can encourage your bones to absorb more calcium and stay strong. So, while diet and supplements are important, movement plays a big role too. It's all part of a system working together to support your legs and your lifestyle. The first, vitamin B12. Let's talk about a real unsung hero when it comes to leg strength, vitamin B12. Now, this is one most folks don't think about, but believe me, it matters more than you might expect. B12 is like the communication system between your brain and your muscles. If that system breaks down, your muscles don't get the right messages, and your legs might feel heavy, unsteady, or even numb. The tricky thing about B12 is that the signs of low levels can sneak up on you. You might think, well, my legs just feel tired lately, or I guess this is just part of getting older. But it might not be age at all. It might be your nerves crying out for B12. Older adults often absorb less of it, especially if they have digestive issues like acid reflux or take medications like antacids. Over time, a lack of B12 can lead to nerve damage that affects how your legs move and feel. I once met a retired teacher who had started tripping on flat surfaces. He thought he was just being clumsy. Turns out, his B12 levels were dangerously low. Once he started a supplement routine, the difference was night and day. He told me, "I didn't realize how disconnected I'd felt from my legs." That stuck with me. Studies show that restoring vitamin B12 can help with balance, reduce tingling in the feet, and even improve walking speed. It plays a key role in producing red blood cells too, which carry oxygen to your muscles. So if you've been feeling wiped out after just walking to the end of the driveway, B12 could be part of the answer. Getting more B12 isn't hard, but it does depend on what you eat. It's mostly found in animal products, meat, fish, eggs, and dairy. If you're vegetarian or vegan, or if your body doesn't absorb nutrients well, you might need a supplement or even regular B12 injections. Talk to your doctor. A simple blood test can tell you if you're low. Here's the bottom line. If your legs feel like they're not listening to you, if you're feeling tired for no good reason, or if you've noticed some tingling or balance issues, don't ignore it. Vitamin B12 might be the missing link, and once it's back where it should be, you might be surprised how quickly your legs start feeling like yours again. Another important point is that B12 deficiency does not always show up overnight. It can take months, even years, for the symptoms to become obvious. That's why it's often missed or mistaken for aging. In fact, in one clinical study, researchers found that more than 30% of people over the age of 60 had low B12 levels, even if they felt mostly fine. That's a huge number. So what can you do? First, pay attention to your body. If your feet feel numb or you're losing your balance more than usual, bring it up at your next appointment. Second, take a closer look at your meals. If you've cut back on meat or dairy for any reason, make sure you're replacing those nutrients somehow. And finally, be proactive. A simple supplement or B12 shot could help protect not just your legs, but your independence. The fourth, magnesium. Magnesium might not be the flashiest nutrient out there, but when it comes to your legs, it plays a starring role. You could think of it as the calm in the middle of the storm. It helps your muscles contract and relax the way they're supposed to. It also keeps your nerves from misfiring, which means fewer spasms, fewer cramps, and smoother movement overall. Now, here's the surprising part. Many older adults are low on magnesium and have no idea. It's not just about what you're eating, it's also about what your body is absorbing. Certain medications, especially diuretics and acid reducers, can deplete your magnesium over time. Add in stress and digestive issues, and your levels can drop without you even noticing. The symptoms? They can be sneaky. Maybe your legs twitch at night. Maybe you get that sharp, sudden Charlie horse cramp that wakes you up out of a dead sleep. Or maybe your legs just feel tight and tired all the time. I once spoke with a woman in her 70s who said her legs felt like they were buzzing at night. After getting more magnesium, that buzzing stopped, and so did her sleep problems. Scientific research backs this up. Studies show that magnesium deficiency is linked to muscle cramps, restless leg syndrome, and even bone health issues. Magnesium works alongside calcium and vitamin D to build stronger bones and regulate muscle control. Without it, everything just feels a little off balance. So, what can you do about it? First, take a look at your plate. Magnesium-rich foods include spinach, pumpkin seeds, almonds, black beans, and whole grains. A small handful of seeds or a bowl of beans can go a long way. Dark chocolate is also a surprising source, and who doesn't like a square or two after dinner? If you're not getting enough from food alone, supplements can help. Magnesium citrate and magnesium glycinate are two forms that your body absorbs more easily, and they're also gentler on the stomach. Always talk with your doctor before starting a new supplement, especially if you take medications. One man I worked with started adding spinach to his lunch every day and took a low-dose magnesium supplement before bed. Within 2 weeks, his nighttime cramps were gone. He said, "I didn't realize how much that little change would help." Bottom line, if your legs are twitchy, cramping, or just plain tired, magnesium could be the missing piece. It's a quiet helper, but one your body depends on more than you might think. And remember, magnesium is not just about the physical symptoms. It also has a calming effect on the nervous system, which can help with anxiety, sleep, and even digestion. Some people report that once they added more magnesium into their daily habits, they not only moved better but slept deeper and felt less anxious overall. It is one of those minerals that supports your body from several angles, making it a quiet but powerful ally in healthy aging. The fifth. Potassium. Let's take a minute to talk about potassium. It's one of those minerals you don't hear much about, but it quietly plays a huge role in how your legs feel and move. Think of potassium as the traffic director for your muscles and nerves. It keeps the signals moving smoothly, helps muscles contract properly, and keeps your fluid levels in balance. Now, what happens when potassium is low? Your muscles can cramp, your legs can shake, and even simple movements like standing up or walking down the hall can feel harder than they should. A lot of people describe this odd trembling or sudden weakness in their legs, especially in the morning. That's often your body waving a red flag. I remember talking with a gentleman in his early 70s who said every time he stood up from his recliner, his legs would shake for a few seconds before he could take a step. He figured it was just age catching up with him, but when his doctor checked his potassium, it was well below normal. A few changes to his meals and a supplement later, the difference was incredible. Research backs this up too. Low potassium is linked to increased fall risk in older adults, as well as reduced bone strength. Yes, bone strength. Potassium helps neutralize acids that can break down bones over time. So it's not just about avoiding cramps, it's about protecting the structure of your legs and keeping you steady on your feet. The good news? Getting more potassium into your day doesn't have to be hard. Sure, bananas are the classic go-to, but they're just one option. Sweet potatoes, white beans, spinach, avocados, and even oranges are packed with potassium. A simple baked potato with the skin can give you more than a banana. And while food is the best source, there are supplements available too. Just be careful, potassium supplements can interact with certain medications, especially for people with kidney issues or high blood pressure, so definitely talk with your doctor before starting anything new. One woman I know started adding half an avocado to her breakfast and a small sweet potato for dinner. She said her legs felt stronger within a week, and the cramps that used to wake her up at night were gone. Sometimes it is that simple. So if you're waking up with cramps, feeling wobbly after standing, or just want to give your legs a better shot at staying strong, potassium is worth paying attention to. A little awareness and a few food swaps might just give your legs the support they've been waiting for. The sixth, vitamin K. Now let's talk about vitamin K. It might not be the most famous vitamin out there, but when it comes to your legs, it's doing some really important behind-the-scenes work. Think of vitamin K as the traffic director for calcium. It helps make sure that calcium ends up in your bones, where it belongs, and not in your arteries or joints, where it can cause stiffness or other problems. Without enough vitamin K, your bones may not get the full benefit of the calcium you're taking in. Instead of being absorbed into your skeleton, some of that calcium can settle into soft tissue or arteries. That's not just bad for your heart, it can also make your joints feel stiff and limit your mobility. Imagine trying to walk with knees that feel locked up or hips that don't want to bend. That's the reality for many people with low vitamin K levels. I remember one woman in her late 60s who described her knees as feeling like rusty hinges. She said getting out of a chair or walking across the room took more effort than it should have. Once she started increasing her vitamin K intake through leafy greens and fermented foods, she noticed she was moving more smoothly and with less discomfort. There's solid science behind this too. Studies show that people with higher levels of vitamin K have better bone density, fewer fractures, and improved joint function. It even plays a role in reducing inflammation, which can be a game changer for anyone dealing with arthritis or chronic joint pain. Vitamin K comes in two main forms, K1 and K2. K1 is mostly found in leafy greens like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard. K2 shows up in fermented foods like natto, certain cheeses, and animal products like egg yolks and liver. Both types help with calcium placement, but K2 stays in the body longer and is especially good at guiding calcium into the bones. Here's something important to remember. If you're taking blood thinners, you'll want to talk to your doctor before increasing your vitamin K intake. That's because it plays a role in clotting, and sudden changes in intake can affect how your medication works. One easy way to get more vitamin K is to throw a handful of spinach into your morning smoothie or add a side of sautéed kale to dinner. These small changes can add up to big improvements in mobility, comfort, and confidence. So if your joints feel stiff or your bones feel vulnerable, it might be time to look at vitamin K. It could be the missing piece that helps your body use calcium the right way and helps you move through your day with more freedom and less pain. The seventh, vitamin B6. Last but certainly not least, let's talk about vitamin B6. Now this one doesn't get talked about as much, but it plays a powerful role in keeping your legs feeling strong and responsive. Vitamin B6 helps your body use protein effectively, and that's important because protein is the building block of muscle. If your body can't process protein well, even a high-protein diet won't do much good for your muscle tone or endurance. But B6 also supports something else just as critical: nerve communication. When you don't have enough of it, the signals between your brain and your muscles get fuzzy. That can lead to that strange, disconnected feeling where your legs feel slow to respond or even numb. Some folks describe it as a dull heaviness, like walking through sand. I spoke with a retired nurse who had always been active, but she started feeling like her legs weren't cooperating anymore. She felt exhausted after walking even short distances and started avoiding stairs. After getting her B6 levels checked and making some dietary adjustments, she told me she felt like her legs had come back to life. That's how real the difference can be. Studies have linked B6 deficiency with increased nerve inflammation, slower reaction time, and even higher fall risk in seniors. It's also tied to red blood cell production, which means B6 affects how much oxygen your muscles are getting. Without enough oxygen, your legs get tired faster and recover more slowly after activity. So how can you get more B6? Luckily, it's found in a lot of everyday foods. Chicken, turkey, and fish like salmon are excellent sources. You can also find it in potatoes, bananas, chickpeas, and fortified cereals. Most adults need around 1.5 to 1.7 milligrams a day, and that's usually doable with a balanced diet. But for folks with digestive issues or restricted diets, a supplement might be necessary. Just be careful not to overdo it. Too much B6 over time can cause nerve problems, so check in with your doctor before adding a supplement. One man told me he started adding roasted chickpeas to his afternoon snack and switching his breakfast cereal to a fortified brand. He noticed that climbing stairs became less of a chore, and he didn't feel as winded getting around the grocery store. So if you've been feeling weaker than usual, or like your legs aren't keeping up with your energy, vitamin B6 might be the missing piece. Give your nerves and muscles the support they need, and you just might feel stronger from the ground up. Let's pause for a second and take this all in. Your legs didn't suddenly wake up one day and stop working. This has been building over time, little by little. But here's the encouraging part. Just like those changes added up over the years, you can start turning things around the same way. Every single vitamin we talked about today plays a specific role. Miss one, and your body might start to slow down. But when they all work together, that's where the magic happens. I've seen it time and time again. People who thought their best days were behind them, suddenly walking better, sleeping better, and feeling like themselves again. You don't have to settle for feeling weak, wobbly, or worn out. With the right nutrients, you're giving your legs a fighting chance. You're giving yourself the chance to live freely, actively, and joyfully. And that's what this journey is really about. Getting back to the life you love, one strong step at a time. Let's be honest, strong legs mean a strong life. It's not just about walking or standing. It's about keeping your independence. It's about picking up your grandchild without worrying about balance. It's about walking into the grocery store and not needing a cart for support. When your legs are strong, life feels easier, more enjoyable, and more free. And the truth is, you don't need some magic fix. You just need the right building blocks, nutrients your body can use every single day. The 7 vitamins we talked about aren't just helpful. They're essential. They support your bones, your muscles, your nerves, and your energy. So take a small step today. Add one nutrient-rich food to your plate. Ask your doctor about a supplement. These little changes can lead to big freedom tomorrow. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and tap that like button. It helps others find this information too. Have questions or want to share your own experience? We would love to hear from you in the comments. And if you want more tips like this, hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. We post new videos every single week. Let's keep learning, improving, and supporting each other, one strong step at a time.